Okay, so this is Achieve 3000. On here you have reading articles. If you do one article, it's equal to 5% on Edgenuity. So if you do 5 articles, it's 25% on Edgenuity. So like for you, for example, if you were at 30% and you did 5 lessons, then you would be pushed up to 55%, which would help you finish your class quicker. Usually 5%, how long does that take you to do on Edgenuity? Like 2, 3 hours? Sometimes more, depending. Yeah, so if on Edgenuity, 5% takes you 2, 3 hours, one Achieve 3000 article will only take you maybe like 45 minutes. Um, it just depends on the article. And then if you are taking an English class, you can read any article you want. If you are taking a history class, the article you read has to be related to history. So like this one, for example, you see right here, it says news/history. If you were taking our intro to business class, it would be this one right here that says business. If it was a science class, you would just look for which one says science. If you were taking the art class, it would be this one, arts and entertainment. It just depends. You can find an article on anything you want. Um, you can read any article, uh, but it has to be the ones that say 5-step lesson. Do you see right here where it says 5-step lesson? Yeah, so it has to say 5-step lesson. So when you click on it, if it's a 5-step lesson, you'll see that at the top it'll have the 5 yellow numbers, the ones up here. So the 5 little yellow numbers in the circles, they'll be up here. Oh, someone's joining. So yeah. You have to be careful to make sure that it's the 5-step lesson. There are other articles. There are like these, oh, where'd it go? There are some like these that say article plus activity. These you can still do them. The only thing is that it won't count towards your 5 that you need to get the full 25%. But sometimes they're really interesting. Like if you want to learn about the latest scientific research about ice cream and you just want to practice your reading, then go ahead and read it. It's fine. The more you read, the better. Just, practice your reading. And you can still do the activity to help you with your reading comprehension. So since are you going to be doing it for history first? Okay. So think of like a historical topic. You were learning recently about Latin America, right? Okay. So if you look through these articles and you don't find anything that you like or nothing is interesting, what you can do is you can go to the top here to the search bar and type in, I don't know, like Latin America. And you'll have something related to that. So you have this, but this is article plus activity. It's not a 5-step lesson. So you would just scroll down and see if you see any, like here, this is a 5-step lesson, but it's in Somalia. Um, Latinas making their mark. You can do this one if it was an English class. Let's see. I'm not sure if these 3 appear. Do you see where it says ELA, Science, and Social Studies? I'm not sure if these will pop up for you or if it's just a teacher thing, but since you're doing it on history, you could also click on social studies and you have all these options right here. So world history, and you have all of this. No, so these are more articles. So let's see, let's click on this. So here you have this one on Peru. And then let's see, uh, the medieval world. Oh, none. World War One, or just all. Let's try all. Okay, so here's some that are, oh, just two. Huh. Let's try this one. There should probably be some, or yeah, here's one. So American Indians. So you could do this one, for example. You can type in anything you want, like if you were doing an English class. English is the only class where you can choose any article you want. Um, it can be anything, like think about maybe like a hobby or something you're interested in, just anything. So what should we type in here to the search bar? Okay, so industry, there you go. So this one's related to United States history. So are these. This one's on Theodore Roosevelt, the first environmental president, about the Fair Labor Standards Act. So these are great. These are perfect for you since you're doing history. Yeah, these are some really good lessons. So let's click on one. Do you find any of these interesting? Like, which one would you choose? Which one? But that one's not a five-step lesson. Do you see any five-step lessons that are interesting? So there's the Is it time to raise pay? There's widening the web. Welcome to Great Falls Park. Children at work. On the go. Hawaii. Oh, go ahead. Okay. So once you click on the lesson and it's a five-step lesson, the first thing you'll do is the before reading poll. So this is the very first thing you do. It says the inventions of the locomotive, the automobile, and the airplane each changed the way of life for Americans in its own specific and important way. What do you think? And then it says the development of the automobile resulted in the greatest change in American life. Agree or disagree? So you would choose one of these. You would either agree or disagree, and then you would explain why you voted the way you did. So down here in the text box, you would write one or two sentences explaining why you either agreed or disagreed. And then here you have, I don't know if this is, oh yeah, so here's like the vocabulary, here's extras, here you can take notes. There's a lot of tools for you to use. That's step one. Step two is the actual article. And then here, yeah, usually you have these pop up. These are the vocab words. You can listen to them. Like it'll
Structure. Basics.
So if you don't know how to pronounce a word, it'll pronounce it for you and it'll read the whole entire definition for you. Um, so here you have the article, you read it, and after you read it, you can either click on this arrow right here that'll take you to the next activity, or you can go up here and then just click on activity. Sometimes there'll be 2 pages. It depends on how you do on the reading test. So once you go to activity, that's where you have your 8 questions. You need to try your best on these. It's only 8 of them. If you forget something, just click on refer to article down here and it'll open the article for you. So just in case you forget, remember that you can open up the article. Once you're done with the activity, you go to after reading poll. The after reading poll is the same exact thing as the before reading poll, same thing. So sometimes students, after they read the article, they change their mind. So if at first you said disagree, and then later after reading it you said agree, then down here you can say, oh, at first I thought this, but now after reading the article I learned this and this and this, so now I think this. And if you can't think of what to write, there's also, I don't know if it's still here. Okay, it's right here. Or actually, no, I think they might not have it anymore. Um, but they used to have these sentence frames and sentence starters that would help you think of something to write. But if you need that, you can just let me know and I can send it to you. So then after you do that, again, just 1 or 2 sentences, then you have the thought question. The thought question is the last step. It says, how did the invention of the locomotive, the automobile, and the airplane impact the United States? How did these inventions change where people settled, where they worked, and how much they traveled? Support your response with information from the lesson. So you type here your answer. It has to be at least a paragraph, and you have to make sure that you answer all, like the whole entire prompt. So in this prompt, you have more than one question. So first it says, like, how they impacted the United States. That's the first question. And then how did these inventions change where people settled, where they worked, and how much they traveled? That's the second question. And you should be supporting your response with information from the lesson. So again, if you don't remember, just go back to the article, reread it, look for more details, and use them in your response. And that's basically it. You just do those 5 steps. Um, the article, it might be shorter. It really depends on how you score. So the very first thing you'll do is it won't show you any articles. It'll give you a reading test. Depending on how you do on the reading test, like it'll give you your Lexile score. So see here how there's the different scores. So if you score at a 780, it'll give you all of your articles at a 780 level. And then it changes your vocab, it changes everything, it customizes everything for you. So a 780 will look like this. And then if you um there's like a chart online, I can look it up. But yeah, it changes. So if it was 400, it would be pretty short. Mostly pictures. Do you see how short it became? Yeah, it's much easier. So you don't have to worry about these articles being difficult. You don't have to worry about this being something hard to do because it's all at your level. You don't have to worry about it being like sometimes on Ingenuity, it just does the same thing for everyone. Um, but here you should be able to understand what you're reading and be able to do the assignment. But do you have any questions about it at all? Yeah.